Welcome to Real Estate Success. I'm your host, Mena Badros, here today with Ralph Pena. Ralph, great to have you here, man.
Hey, morning. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Before we get into real estate talk, I want people to get to know who you are. So, without mentioning any professional accomplishments, can you tell people who Ralph Pena is?
Wow. Um, well, husband, father, and just a real hard worker. Came from nothing, going for everything. That's like the story right there.
Cool. Tell people where you're from. Where you're from, or where do you reside now?
I'm born and raised in Philadelphia. I still reside in Philadelphia. I love my city. I really love my city. It's taught me so much. It's so much opportunity here. And it's just one of those places. It's not New York fast, but it's not Delaware slow. So it's that just right for me.
Awesome. What did you do before real estate?
The same thing I'm doing now. I drive a bus. So I drive the city transit bus. And I've been driving for a very long time. So I've been in the transportation industry pretty much my whole adult life, pretty much. Like that's all I've done was drive. That's all I know is
So,
go.
why, why real estate? Why did you get into real estate?
Well, I was poor growing up, meaning so like that's where it all came from, right? So you look at how the guys get rich in my neighborhoods. It was either do bad things or be like the guys on TVs, the Trumps and things like that. So, once you mature and you out of that stage, it's like, okay, now let's think of business. What am I good at? And it was a Rich Dad Poor Dad book that opened up my mind, uh, and that book pretty much taught me, the passive income. And then I realized I have to make money when I sleep. So I wanted to be this big Monopoly guy, and I loved the game growing up, so it only made sense. And I was like, hey, I'm not gonna be even 6 foot tall. I'm not super fast. I have like no special abilities and I can't dance. So I can't entertain you. I can't, do anything. So what can the average man get rich at? And real estate was one of those things that I landed. I was like, oh, I'll take that route.
That's dope. And how has kind of real estate changed your life, or how has your life changed since you began in real estate?
Well, like you said, when you took it all back to, I came from the projects. I was, born and raised on welfare and things like that. So, and I've been evicted, before my adult, ever being in my adult life, being moved out of the buildings to be, misplaced. I've had foreclosed homes from my family, from the house I was living in with people, and I just didn't like what it made me feel. So I really chased that independence. And then once being able to have my own home, it was more of being able to provide that same service and stop people from losing their homes or being their families being misplaced. So it really touched me and related to me. So that's where I found my purpose in it all. Because at first it was like, get rich, get rich, get rich. And then after you start doing transactions and people give you hugs and you help people, I really grew with it. And it really spoke to me to be who I am because I didn't know I loved the help that much.
Hmm.
And it was at first young and naive. It all started for just it was me, 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 me. I'm like, I'm going to be rich. I'm never going back to poor. This is it. That I'm forget everybody. And then it was like you get rich by helping everybody,
Right.
and that's how it
Right.
went.
So a lot of people think, real estate agents, they help buy and sell houses, but you kind of touched on kind of helping people out of situations and situations that you've been in yourself, and now you're helping people out of those situations. Talk a little bit about that, right? Because it's not just handling a buying and selling transaction; it's much more than that.
For sure, for sure, for sure. It's this is people's lives, their homes, and the real estate. This is their life. So when people say, "Oh, it's not personal. It's just business." This is personal, really personal business.
Right. So do you do that kind of through your wholesaling side or through your real estate agent side, as far as helping people out of foreclosure situations or things like that?
So my primary thing is the wholesale, right? I love wholesaling. Um, and not everybody needs the wholesale deal. There are clients who want the retail price, who need the retail price, that the service that a wholesaler can't provide. I just so happen to be licensed. I just have to be ethical. Who better to service them than me, right? And I go in there. I don't go in there like a greedy investor, or just telling them, hey, I can be the realtor and maximize. I go in there with my doctor hat on. I don't say, oh, you need this, you need that. I listen to what they have to say. I listen to what they want and say, hey, here's your options. That's really the service I provide, is just exposing you to the options. That's my big thing. So people know. I don't want anybody to do something they don't know what they're doing.
Right. No, I love that the doctor hat and exposing them to options. So from let's go from the seller standpoint right now, right? Like if I'm looking to sell my home, when would it be a good time for me to entertain, right? Like a cash investor or wholesaler, or when should I put my home on the market, or how do I know what's best for me as someone that's looking to sell their home, right?
Okay, so like I tell any and every, so this is whether you're buying, you're selling, there's no cookie cut answer. Everybody has their story. So once again, I have to put my doctor hat on. I say, tell me more about that. So you need to raise it up high. Can you put it over here? What do you want? What are you trying to do? How can I help you get there? Then we will reverse work our way in backwards and get you to your results and find those steps within.
Right. Awesome. Let's kind of unwrap your real estate journey. Obviously, you may not be exactly where you are when you started real estate day one. So, can you take us kind of how you started in real estate and your kind of your journey until where you are now?
So as I was doing paratransit, I took real estate classes at night after work. After I got licensed, I didn't really practice real estate, but I went and bought my first duplex, right? So all I knew was rich dad, poor dad, make money while you sleep. I'm going to live in this one side, and I'm going to be able to afford it with my own income, with or without any money. It just so happened that when I got my first tenant a month later after I purchased, I made the same amount of money I was paying in mortgage and some. So I lived rent free, and I was like, I'm on to something here. But I was young, dumb, naive, and I was spending the money. Hey, I'm making
Hmm.
money, got more money, I'm gonna just spend it. And I didn't think to keep
Right.
buying more asses. In the back of my mind, I knew, hey, you need to buy more. You need to buy more of that. That was a good, that's a good fix. Um, so I actually went and negotiated my first deal without any experience, and it just so happened that the person that sold me the property was a realtor retiring.
Hmm.
So they held my hand the whole way through. I didn't seek help from anybody in the real estate school I finished, anybody at the brokerage. Um, and from there, I just went stagnant for a few years, and then I jumped back in. And once I jumped back in, I really focused on listings. I realized that because I'm working two jobs, I don't have time to be on everybody else's schedule to drive them around to show them property. So I
Right.
realized if you control the inventory, you control the schedule.
Right.
I could do more sales than I could taking people around. So that's how I got to listing agent and becoming my own favorite buyer slash wholesaler slash investor.
Cool. Awesome. So, what type of listing did you have? Were they mostly, investment properties? Were they mostly single families, multi-families, or
So a lot of them were single families. Once I've learned to dial in my marketing, I primarily go for single families. They're just easier transactions, right? My first purchase was a multifamily,
right?
so I started as pretty much a professional landlord, and I love landlord, and I love what I do. It goes back to that purpose of providing the home and making sure people have a place to live, and this business will never go out of business.
Right.
So that's how they got there.
Um, Out of the things that you do, right, as a landlord, an investor, a wholesaler, a real estate agent, listing agent, what role has been the most rewarding for you, or that you enjoy the most?
So I mean, it's crazy because everything has its pros and cons, right?
Right, for
Everything has
sure.
pros. So being the agent investor, you're on the hunt every day. We pounding the phones every day from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Right? So there's that grind. It's like pick up the phone, dial, solve your problems by getting rich. And then it's the landlord thing, and it's like, oh my God, we gotta fix this toilet. But then the cash app rings for the month, and it's like ching, and it's like, yeah, we did it. that happens, and then you make a sale, and it's like we closed, and it's like, oh, we got to do it again. so
Yeah,
so everything is just like rinse and repeat, and it's a give and take. It's a give and take. It's a give and take, and that's how I look at it. So I just really fell in love with the whole process. Now I get more of I really get more from it from seeing others do it, whether that be their first purchase, their first investment property, their first, right? I love that teaching, and then I love teaching and speaking on it. So within my brokerage now, I do some training. I help with the training and things like that, and that
so
really hits me here. And I didn't know that I love the teaching, but what I learned the benefits of teaching is you get better. When you
right,
teach,
for sure.
you get better because if you can teach the material and make the smartest, biggest thing for the stupidest person, nobody's stupid, but we take our own way to comprehend things, and that as a teacher, getting that comprehension to that person, you know, that that was me. I was a C student all the way through school. And I told my grandma when she was raising me, I said, if they paid me to come to school, I'll be the first one in here and the last one out. So I brought that same work ethic to everything I do because I get paid to do this, and I
Yeah,
love it. I
that's
wake
dope.
up
Yeah,
every
you
day,
said that the
get a
best
few
way to
hours of
learn is
sleep.
to teach. The best way to learn is to teach.
It
Yeah,
really is. It really is, and it's more fulfilling than that hit of cash and acquiring another property. After a while, it's like another brick, another door, another house. It don't really mean as much to you as, oh my God, I've really taught that person. Now they can provide forever. They can go do deals forever, or they have a place to live now, and they're out of their situation. They're not on that couch. They're not sleeping in that car. I've been there.
right.
Seeing that, seeing that, being a part of that gives you the fuzzies inside. And, it may sound corny, but I still love it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's probably the biggest reward, right? Having that impact in someone else's life. What's next for you? I mean, you've been doing a lot of stuff in real estate. You continue to do a lot of stuff. What's next for you in the real estate realm?
Just keep going. Just keep doing more of what I'm doing. I'm really just focusing on dialing in and doing what makes me happy, right? So I've tried a few things and I don't like them. I really want to stay in my genius zone, and if I can stay there and and have just enough for me, that's okay. Because I used to want everything. I used to want a million of everything. But for what? For who? Who am I trying to impress?
Right.
I, there's I get more joy from being home with my family, watching a movie and playing with my son or something like that. And it's just like traveling. And I'm sitting there out in the islands, and my phone email is ringing, and it's like, oh my God, I'll be there to come party in a minute. Give me 1 second. Let me put out this fire. It's a little overwhelming at times, So it's like you got to have just that right, just for you. I'm
Yeah.
big
No,
on just for
I,
you.
I definitely hear that, man. I definitely hear that, right? So you said you tried a few things and you didn't like them, and in real estate, there's so much going on, especially like as I talk to new agents, it's kind of like overwhelming, right? There's so much thrown at you, so many options. You're like, I don't know what to do, running here, running there. What are the things that maybe you tried and you didn't like, and you're like, it's just not for me, not how I want to do my thing.
Um, Door knocking would be one of those things. Door knocking, um, and probably driving around the buyers. If driving around the buyers has to be the hardest part of the game, if you ask me. That's just me personally. That one, oh my God, that gets me. I drive around people professionally for a living, so the last thing I want to do is drive, right? So that maybe I'm just jaded and burnt out from that. Maybe that might be it, you know.
That's funny.
So
That's
mostly
hilarious.
mostly that, just those two things probably's got me, gotten a little under my skin.
Yeah, I hear you. So we had classes together, and a big thing in classes that you talk about risk and liability and all that stuff, right? And the more hats you wear, the more liability you have, right? So you're a wholesaler, you're an investor, you're a realtor. How do you kind of keep a good balance and making sure that you're doing the right thing, right? As you're navigating out there with all these hats.
One, disclose, right? This is who I am. I'm professionally licensed. Here's my credentials. If you need to come find me, here's my numbers. And two, I just operate as if I don't want to be on that news article, right? As if my grandma, if this was my grandmother here sitting, the woman that raised me, how would I feel still in her house?
Mm,
I wouldn't feel right at all. And I say it, I say I'm gonna get to be this 70, 80-year-old crunchy guy, right? And I'm gonna have some young whippersnapper call me up, and I'm gonna see his heart of gold, and I'm gonna give him the farm. That's if my children and don't take it from me. But
right.
I'm going, I'm gonna bless him the way I was blessed, and I'm gonna know what's going on because a lot of the people they're sharp. A lot of my clients are very sharp, and they know what's going on, and they make their decisions, and they say thank you for letting me know because I didn't even know that. And that's how I do it. I just know that it's right within my heart. No matter
No.
what my situation is, no matter what, the bills about to get cut off, the lights, the bills due, lights about to get cut off, whatever the case is, I just come from here, and I'm fine when I go in the courtroom, whatever the judgment may be from there.
And on that note, how do you kind of handle or avoid conflict of interest, right? Like you're going to meet someone maybe looking to sell their house. It might be a good buy for you, right? But they're probably going to get more if they put it on the market. How do you make sure you're not, you're avoiding any conflicts of interest out there as you're kind of carrying all these hats
My favorite question: what's most important to you?
to the client or to you,
To them, to the
to
client,
them, right?
to the customer, client,
Right.
the consumer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're not a client yet. They're not a customer yet.
To
This
the
is the
person that you're
consumer,
servicing,
right?
right?
What's the most important thing for you? Here's your ABC options.
Right.
You take your pick from there. If it's maximizing, you should search for the person who will pay the most because there's always somebody out there who will pay more. And I tell everyone that. So this may not be, I may not be your guy, but maybe we could do something together.
Right. And even as an agent, I mean, because since we're both licensed agents, our fiduciary duty is always to pursue the best interest of the client, right?
Right.
Um, so what's in their best interest, even if that means no sale to you or no commission for you as an agent, right? It's always what's in the best interest of that person, and what aligns best with their goals and what they're looking to
For sure.
do.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, what would you say is the one thing you did that had the biggest impact on your real estate career?
Education, getting a coach,
Mm,
getting a coach. Paying for coaching. The first thing I'm gonna save thousands and hundreds right here. The first thing my coach said to me was, "I'm going to teach you how not to be sold anymore."
teach you how not to be sold. Mm,
So after he took my money, he said, "I sold you. I closed you. I'm going to teach you how to never be sold unless you want to be sold again." And from there, he taught me how to sell. And that right there was a game changer because not knowing what's going on, not knowing what to say, not knowing how to guide somebody through the process, that and doing your own due diligence within a sale. People do a lot of things off emotion. Slow it down, get educated, go in with the facts.
right. How did you find that coach or the right coach?
Would you believe it? I paid for a program, which brought me into a community. So once again, getting educated. So That's the one thing I say, get educated. I tell everybody, invest some money into education before you do anything else. Before you buy the red pill, the button one press in your $1 million real estate, get a program, get a coach. I tell you, start with the free methods. YouTube podcasts, right? YouTube's and podcasts. Get some type of fun foundation substance about the topic. Then you buy a book or some audiobooks because I listen to my books. Then you buy a course, get in, become part of a community, or get a coach, and then get into a community, and you're surrounded with people doing it, so it's just normal. And now you can set the world on fire.
Right. For sure.
That's my best
Awesome. I
advice.
love that. Um, Let me ask you, what is, maybe a challenge, or if you can think of like one of your biggest challenges as you are, ramping up your real estate business.
Time,
Mm,
time, it's not enough. Not it's not that it's not enough. It's where I allocate it. So my I'm
I like
trying
that word.
to, yeah, it's the family life, right? My family life suffers, and that I want to work on. I grew up family, big family. Well, big, a lot of people in one house. Maybe not a big family, just a lot of people in one house.
Yeah.
So I love the culture. I love that feeling, and I just want to be there for my family.
For sure.
So it's that give and take and that balance. And that's why I say I just need just enough, and I need to find mine right there. That's perfect for me.
Mm.
Mhm.
If you were starting your real estate business right now today, right? Like current economy, the technology we have now, what would you focus on?
Just starting.
Yeah, just starting, like you just got your real estate agent license today, right? So, and the world is the same as it is right now. Knowing what you know, what would you focus on?
Two things: get educated. One, then find somebody. You see, a lot of people want to skip the line and just go, go, go. They forgot back in the day we had apprentices.
Right.
A lot of people don't want to put those 4 years in, those 5 years in. Eat the dirt and do the hard things for somebody that's successful. If you can get next to success and latch on, be of value. Don't just be a bloodsucker and hey, can you teach me, teach me, teach me. Come with value. Hey, I do websites. I see you don't really have a website. Hey, I see your website is like plain Jane. How about you let me just touch that for you? No cost. I really would just like to ride around with you. Hey, I can
Right.
hang out these door flyers for you. I see them sitting there in your office. Let me do that for you. Just be ready for that. That would be my best advice.
Right. It's, like you said, success models success, right? There's a big quote: success models success. I'm gonna ask you a few rapid fire questions here to wrap us up. First, advice for brand new agents. One piece of advice for brand new agents.
Get educated, get a mentor.
Okay, cool. One piece of advice for seasoned agents.
Stay hungry. Stick to the basics.
Okay. One big message for all real estate professionals.
Run everybody one more time. One big
Like
question.
one big message for all real estate professionals, whether they're investors, wholesalers, right, lenders, anyone in the real estate game. If you were speaking on stage at a big real estate conference, what is that big message you would want to send across?
There's enough out here for all of us.
Mm, I love that. And I want to go back to wholesaling for a second, if you don't mind. I think there's a big stigma on wholesaling. I know we touched on it a little bit, but for the agents who are maybe not aware of wholesalers, or maybe now want to work with wholesalers because there's not enough inventory in the market and they're pursuing right other options and other ways where the inventory is, what would you say to agents, investors who are not familiar with wholesalers and wholesaling, and but would be open to leveraging it in some way?
Get some type of knowledge of it. So right, really understand it. Don't just hear it from one side. Hear it from all around. Hear it from a few few places, and then find somebody find somebody you can have that conversation with. Find somebody that clicks with you to work with, and once you realize how painless it is, you'll actually be addicted to it, and then you'll be able to spot bad performers or just bad, people in the industry. Period. On that side.
Right. Awesome, man. Anything else for us as we wrap this up?
Nah, Nina, man, I want to say thank you for this. I haven't done plenty interviews. I was nervous. I'm glad you're recording because I might have took off if it was live. So I'm like I said, I'm nervous, but I love it. I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I just think, oh my God, that dude's a rock star. One day I want to be that guy. And for anybody out there that's in that same position, you haven't done your first deal, you haven't gotten a game, you want to do this, it can be you. You just put the work in, day out. Just come show up, learn, and be growing every day. That's it. That's life.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Every day
appreciate it,
you're not
man.
evolving, you are dissolving. So every day you either getting better or you're getting worse. There's no in between. Evolving or dissolving.
For sure. I love that. Now, man, I appreciate you having you on here, man. I want to get a lot of people on here, different voices. I want to show people, right, influential people in real estate, their journeys, their stories, to show that almost anybody can do this. You don't have to be a particular type, right? And I want to bring people in front of people so that we can educate, empower, and inspire others to change their life with real estate, right? And then to get more knowledgeable about real estate. And what's the best way to do it than people who are already doing it, sharing their experiences. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, have a good one and stay blessed.
See you.